you're giving a speech, you use sentences, and all of a sudden you're now using words to describe. You don't have to use sentences anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like you're saying tall, LeBron James, like all this kind of things. So you're using words to just, it seems, and it flows very well. Instead of using sentences, you're not just using words to describe. And when do you decide to use that such that people still understand what you're saying? Then you can now go back to now using sentences.
This comes from my training as a teacher, right? One way to communicate with a class is to lecture to them, to talk to them, to ask them a question. And that's dominant. We are primarily communicating through our ears and our mouths, but there's also that visual component. And the visual component complements whatever you're saying verbally. So I know the speech you saw where I said tall like LeBron James. And we all know LeBron James is very tall. He plays for the NBA and he's a star and he can do so many different things so well. But if I tell you LeBron James is 6'8", that just that goes right past you. But if I do this, tall like LeBron James, now you get the sense that you're looking up at a giant, and you can play act that to really illustrate to your audience how you felt during that time. And I'm not an actor, but I can do a little bit. I can mime a little bit. I can use my arms and my body and crouch down and go on the floor. And these are ways to play with the audience's expectations and make your point. And I used to not be very good at that. I had to work on that because I'm a verbal person. I like wit that's based on words, not a physical sort of comedy. But there's a place for physical in public speaking. And some people do that really well. Ramona Smith, who you had on this
Yeah.
podcast a few weeks ago, I was in Chicago when she won 2018. I went in person and she did that very well. She had boxing abilities and dancing and
And
singing.
singing.
That's a one person show, right? She did everything. That's not really my way. I prefer to make the point through words. But when you have an opportunity to do something different, if you have the skill set, you should do it. And Ramona said, I heard this, if you can't sing on key, don't
Yeah.
sing, right? I
Hmm.
can't sing
Yeah.
on key. That's why you've never heard me sing.